The Big Ten Championship week is here, and it is about time to face Michigan yet again. This is a storied rivalry for us. You already know we hate the team up north, but we got some recruits that came in. So in our final week of recruiting, we ended up getting Trevonte Wright, Jake Coleman, and Darius Bush. These are all great additions to our team because Lord knows we needed a little bit of help. Now, Jake Coleman is a rare JUCO that we brought in, but again, at linebacker, we got some questions next season, so he may play middle or outside. We'll figure it out. We have a couple of recruits left, about 6 scholarships left on the board with about 8 players potentially available. But the couple players that I'm really focused on the most, Malik Newsome, who I think would be a great athlete for us. Jalen Clark, who's a receiver. We're making a really late push for him, hoping we can get into the offseason and make a really strong push for him if we don't already win out. And then Craig Norris, who, again, South Alabama, jumped us a little bit. So I'm nervous. And from a top class standpoint, we are currently number 3, improving from 4 to 3. Hey, you gotta love that. We didn't get any 5 stars this year, but still, big W's across the board. Now, in terms of the college football playoff rankings, there has been chaos the last couple of weeks, but this past week was pretty mild. We see us at 1, San Diego State at 2, Michigan 3, Texas 4, and LSU 5. I don't know if we lose or they lose, what will essentially happen in the rankings, but it's going to be really close. You can see LSU, BYU, and Florida State, and Ole Miss probably are all really close on the bubble. Rounding out your top 10, though, was Notre Dame and Clemson, again, who was number 1 and obviously fell from a mighty spot. Cincinnati's at 20, Penn State, Oregon, and SMU are your bottom 3 teams in the top 25. And of course, our guy Jason Barr is still holding on to the top spot right now. He, did not have a great week last week, but I really have to imagine he needs a big conference championship week to make sure that he keeps a strong hold on to what should be rightfully his, the Heisman. Barr is also 5th in the entire nation in terms of overall rush yards with 1,508, which you kind of can't see because of my webcam, but still, he's behind McNamara with 1,547, White with 1,582, and then everyone else is pretty much well out of contention for him. But what he does have is 27 rushing touchdowns, which is the same amount of passing touchdowns that Riley has thrown this year. So it's been an incredible year for him, and 30 is not too far away. These past few weeks have had some shaky performances, but we have everybody back and healthy, and I'm kind of excited to see what they do. I think one of the most important things is having week 15 off before the conference championship to really make sure that a lot of our guys can get healthy, they can sort of get their stamina up, because Lord knows that offensive line needs it. And look, we're showing our commitment to Jason Barr immediately from the get-go. We're giving this dude the ball 3 straight times to let him know that, look, we believe in you. Offensive line better block because we sure believe in you. First down, Riley under center. Dropping back, he's got his guy. No one's covering RJ Riley, and that's bad news for Michigan because this dude's out here running. Look at him fight 4 to get himself 27 big yards. That is such a stark, massive contrast from how the game started last week, where I believe our first pass was an interception. Never exactly ideal to start a game like that. Riley feels a whole lot of pressure. He's moving. He's got some guys that we're just going to ultimately get rid of it. Michigan's defense is significantly better than its offense, so our big thing is just making sure our offense can get us in positions to score the football, and their defense will do their best job to stop us. Stewart comes in to spell out Barr, trying to trick him with the halfback screen. The defense was literally there already. Stewart cuts it up a little bit, and that's a first down after 10. Going right back to Barr, just came back in the game after a breather. Gold slides over. Great blocking up the middle. You love to see this for Barr, and he picks up 11. Michigan's really struggling against the running game. We happen to have 2 really, really good running backs out there that can absolutely pick up some yards. It's just the offense kind of picks and chooses when they want to block. That was Derek Marshall getting his first tackle for a loss in the game. Got Gold lining up in the slot a little bit. I kind of like Riley going underneath there as well, underneath the center. They're blitzing 2. We got Riley. That's a great comeback, and the defender nearly makes the play, but we still have the ball inside the 5. A drive that has probably taken longer than we maybe have wanted, but still really good. 10 plays, trying to make it 11 here to get into the end zone. Well, hands it off to Barr. The defensive tackle was in the backfield immediately, but the trap worked perfectly, and Barr, touchdown 28 on the year. Now, we got to taste it, what we can ultimately expect to see from their defense, but what about their offense? Their quarterback goes an absolute dot over here, and Holly picks up 15. Bringing their QB under center. We're going to blitz our guy. They go across for a slant, and Hemphill again. The holes are showing in his coverage. I mean, the comparison in the NFL right now for Hemphill is really Diggs for the Cowboys. He's a dude that is probably going to get burnt a good bit, but he's going to make some plays that will offset that. But yo, speaking of making plays, 84. Tim Holly again, 21 big yards. And where Mike Hemphill really thrives is sort of the jump ball. You throw a jump ball, a 50-50 ball up in the air. That dude has got an incredible vertical. He played basketball in high school. He absolutely knows what he can do to make sure he gets something to stop there. Look at Stephen Lowe sacking him for 3. I know Holly has actually a sprained ankle, but he's going to pull a T.O. who technically had a broken ankle. He's going to come back in and play, but just not for a couple of plays. So we get a little bit of a breather from him. They go with a little bit of a halfback counter play, and their running back goes for 15. The last time we faced Michigan, they had another really talented dude at running back, and we're kind of finding that out now. We're moving Walton over to make sure he can cover his guy a little bit better. We see Bass come in a little bit, and we stop him after 2. A lot of pressure now. Trey Martin back under center for Michigan. They're going to move their tight end over one more time. I don't think we've seen Holly back in the game just yet. Their quarterback's been trying to take off. Low and company are there, but we end up getting a hit by Patterson to stop him. We're really doing our best to put pressure on them right now. We need to make sure that quarterback does not feel comfortable, and he's more of a threat to run than anything else. They go for a quick dump off, and Stephen Lowe stops him. Look, Holly not being in for a couple of plays was huge for us because we forced a 4th down when we didn't really feel like we had it. So Michigan's actually highest overall rated player is their kicker, who's going to line up for a shot from the left hash mark. Should be a pretty easy routine one for him. He hasn't really missed many this season. That one is up. It is good. And we got to lead a 4. So Riley again getting this offense going. Knows he needs something. He's out here scrambling a little bit, trying to find some room for his guys. He's going to get out of bounds smartly because he does not want to get a hit from those linebackers. Barr comes back in this time with Stewart in the backfield with him. Their little read option game has been fun, but it hasn't really transpired the way they wanted it to, and we just can't quite get the blocking we need, but we'll take the positive gain of 2. We have yet to miss a 3rd down conversion. We're trying to keep that trend going right here. Riley back under center. Goes a small blitz. He's going to pick up the yards here, and he gets down smartly. The thing we focus on the most is just getting first downs. We don't need major plays. We don't need anything too crazy. We just need to make sure that we move the chains and not get our guy hurt. Riley, a little gas. We're going to bring his friend over here, RJ Riley. Same last name, different player. Nice little toss here. RJ Riley's got some room. Not the fastest player on the team, but he's trying to get some yards, and he gets 30 big ones when we need him the most. That's kind of what the offense needed. A little bit of a positive jolt in the arm to make sure that they know they're doing just fine. Nice little comeback here. Robert Ross going to pick up another big gain to 16. Riley's been efficient, 4 for 5, 65 yards. The turnover issues have been massive for him, and he's really trying to get, around on those and make sure they don't really happen anymore. As Sean Stewart goes for what looks to be 7. We've got Michigan on their heels. The one thing we're trying to do is just push the tempo of the run and see what they ultimately do to balance against that. And right now, they're really struggling to stop it. We've done a fantastic job of making sure that we run the football a good amount. They're putting extra guys in the box. And when they do that, we can hit them over the top with some nice passes that have worked out in our favor as Jason Barr is stopped. It looks to be at the 2. Barr already has 1 touchdown today. We're trying to get him his 2nd one. He's sitting around 40 or 45 yards so far. Gets the edge to the run on the left, and what a play. A pancake block on the edge seals that one, and just like that, our lead's going to move to 11. Michigan needs to answer back. A field goal is not going to be enough for this team. We are the highest scoring offense in the entire nation, and we got the hardest hitters out there in the safety as well. If they're going to hurt us, it's going to have to be through the passing game. We're loading their box up. We're blitzing a lot of dudes, and we're saying, if you want to run it, we got dudes coming for you from every single direction. You're going nowhere. 2nd and 12, we're coming right back with a blitz. We got 3 dudes going immediately to the backfield, and Trey Martin was literally so scared he threw it in the stands. Michigan has had 1 3rd down opportunity today. It didn't work out in their favor. We got a little 3rd and 12 here, trying to stop him yet again. They go underneath, and you know what? Mike Hemphill actually covered a route extremely well there, and they're going to be punting this one. Like what I'm seeing here, safety's in the box. We got a little bit of a mismatch here. Sending Gold over. Oh, yeah, we got a guy with some steps on him. RJ Riley over the top. He's going to burn the defense and picks up another gain, this time 42 big ones. RJ Riley is coming here with massive expectations on a team that is looking to repeat, and he has just done nothing but help this team out. And you love to see it. Look at Jason Barr. Nice little move inside on that run and gets him 9. But honestly, Riley has done everything we've wanted him to do from a receiver standpoint, but he's also been so good in the running game, so good in the blocking side of things. He's done it all, and you love to see it. Speaking of Riley, going right back to him. But it's picked off by Wagner. Brandon Wagner, true freshman, gives Michigan the ball back. Okay, things were going great. We tried a little wild route on the wrong side of the field, and it did not go in our favor. But what is going on our favor is how good our defense is playing. Looks like Mario Moses with a big tackle. They've only run 3 times today. They've sort of been telegraphing a lot on the passing side, and that's working out in our favor. Holly being hurt, though, really is what kind of hurt him the most. They pitched one out here. We got Lowe trying to get him. We're going to miss on that one, but Hall gets him, but it's still, the danger is already there. One thing we are trying to do that we sort of learned from the previous game against Wisconsin is we cannot sit in man the entire game. We've got to run a little bit of zone, let our guys get some of their legs back, and not be super drained. Because that ultimately is how we almost lost that big game. Now, Holly is back in the game. He's right there in the slot. He's going to be guarded by Matthew Fowler on this play. Trying to get over here to Martin. Martin feels the pressure, immediately runs. We miss with Fowler. We're going to try to get over here. Hall's going to wrap him up, but he gets 23 yards, and the damage is done. Trey Martin doesn't have the touchdowns really to show for it, but he is keeping this team in the game. They're in pretty much field goal range at the moment. Going back to the run. Clint Jackson goes up the middle. Walton and Fowler bring him down, but again, 13 more yards, and the rushing game is starting to get a little bit of a problem for us. 4 minutes left in the first half. Michigan's trying to make it a 4-point game. Their quarterback's a little gassed. We know he's probably not going to run. We take that back. He is going to run, and we bring him down for a loss of 5. Trey Martin is in shambles. And Martin actually gets hurt in that play. So wait a second. They're bringing in their backup quarterback who we have literally no information about right now, which is scary. And he throws one to only the cameraman, and it's 3rd and long. So the quarterback that's in right now is Ryan Douglas. Again, we don't really have any info on him. We'll try to get some sort of info on what's happening to Trey Martin and what we can expect from Ryan Douglas. But he's got a lot of pressure in his face. And Bobby Edwards says, you got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Kick the field goal. So we're going to line to kick a field goal here. This is going to be a super, super long one. You got Hemphill back here again, one of the most dangerous return men in the year. A lot of teams don't opt to kick for him, but what a boot by the kicker. That one is good, and it is going to cut the lead to 8. 3:08 left here in the first half. Again, Michigan has a whole lot of dudes in the box, but we are still going to run it because we know what our guy can do, and that's make people miss. Another gain to 10. Barr has been an unbelievable workhorse. That 15 pounds that he put on at the beginning of the season has really showed up and showed that he can be that every down guy. A lot of people thought maybe he only runs in between the tackles. Maybe he's not really ready to be an in between the tackle guy. Nah, he's ready, and then some. So Martin actually has a bruised shoulder, and he's out for the entire game. Michigan is in unbelievable shambles right now as they lose their starting quarterback in the conference championship game, and all of a sudden Riley gets hit big for us, losing 9. If we don't start protecting Riley more, we're going to be losing him as well. 3rd and 12. We're going to Barr here. Get the ball on your Heisman candidate. Let him go to work. Barr trying to make some people miss. He can't quite outrun the defense. He gets 4, and I believe maybe for the first time today, we're punting. So with their backup quarterback, they're down 8 points. Michigan has a tall task in front of them to take down the #1 team in the nation. And we're not an easy team, I can tell you that much. Josh Cole getting a tackle up for linebacker of the year as well this year, trying to win it 2 years in a row. 2nd and 4, minute 30 on the clock. They go across the middle again. This time Miller scampers for what looks to be 15. Look, you know our deal. We are not about to let a dude with 2 first names come out here and beat us, especially a team from Michigan. We're going to stand him up, and we're going to put him down. 2nd and 1, just over a minute. Michigan does have 2 timeouts. They called a timeout before we kicked our punt because they didn't want us to go for something and run the clock in a little bit more, and they're using their time wisely. Michigan has kind of refused to throw anything deep against us. They're going for pretty much dink and dunk stuff underneath, sort of a West Coast offense approach. And like, we get it, but at some point you got to test us. And Douglas tries to go for something. He throws everybody to the ground. This dude's a fighter. I mean, that looked like Bobby Edwards he threw to the ground. And then he threw, I believe, Josh Cole to the ground. And then he just threw a dime to Michael Smith. What is going on? Gonna press cover a little bit here, see if we can get some pressure. Cole trying to get in there, and he does. Josh Cole drops him for a loss of 7. Time is not on Michigan's side. They have Holly over there on the right-hand side. We're switching to a little bit of zone. Trying to mess with a young quarterback. They throw one over there, and he nearly catches that in triple coverage. Huge play, dropping our guys back in coverage. We don't need any pressure. We just need to make sure that they do not score here. Douglas ends up getting hit as he throws. It goes nowhere, and it's 4th and 17 with a big decision coming up. This might be an even longer field goal than one before. I believe it is. This one's probably in the neighborhood of 50-some yards. We're going to sit back there with Hemphill, even though they have one of the best kickers in the nation. Oh, my God. He drilled it. Okay, right now their kickers, their MVP, but the man's got a boot. Look at this one. I mean, barely clears it, but it cleared. That's all that matters. So a 55-yard field goal makes this a 5-point game. Going in halftime, this is a low-scoring game for us, but our defense at least is doing their part. I'm really happy with how our defense is playing. They're bending. They're not breaking. We're letting them run a little bit of zone here to try to just keep this game close. And John Hall, part-time player, part-time playmaker, is going to get this one inside the 10. What a pick. He's been on fire the last few weeks. John Hall is a man that should not be tested. We have been unbelievable at intercepting the ball this season, and he continues right here in the Big Ten championship game. Giving the ball to Barr. Barr fights through. He's inside the 5 now with a 5-yard gain. Going right back to the run game here. Barr got decapitated on that play. What a hard hit. 3rd and goal. We need a touchdown here. A close one to Robert Roth. He's open in just the perfect spot. Riley finds him, and we got the touchdown to prove it. You gotta love what you're seeing right now. What a play. Robert Roth getting open and Riley throwing an absolute dot to get him here. And all of a sudden, oh no, we're in trouble as Jackson picks up 13 more. The running game's getting going again. Michigan trying to get things going again. Their backup quarterback has to take down one of the best teams in the nation, one of the best defenses and offenses, and their running back fumbles. Stephen Lowe picks it up, and are you kidding me? They've been force-feeding the run game, but it's not working right now as they fumble and we pick it up. The craziest thing to me is they don't actually challenge that fumble. They just sort of roll with it, and all of a sudden, here we are. Riley feels so much pressure. He's got a guy. He throws it. Who else but Willis? I thought it was going to be Jeremy Gold, but it was Jeremy Willis. Another big dude catching it. Willis was supposed to have an underneath route, but he sort of broke off when he saw his QB scrambling, hoping it'd be open, and good Lord, was that man open. Riley back here again, sees his guy, and Tom Baker, but what a jump! The linebacker makes an incredible play, which almost would have been a guaranteed touchdown. Petty says, not on my watch. I'm shook. That was an incredible interception that we did not see coming. We felt like we had enough air in that one, but that dude's vertical, which is a little bit better than we thought. Now they go underneath here to Miller, and they pick up 2. 2nd and 8. Douglas again trying to get things going. This has been a really tough task, I think, for him right now as a backup QB, but he's doing his best as we try to wrangle him down after 2 again. We're kind of bringing the house right now. We want him to feel some pain. The whole world is crashing on him. Hemphill does get beat, but he knocks it out. What a play by Mike Hemphill. Way to stand up and do something. Things are not looking good for Michigan. Hemphill's back waiting to return one. We've got a solid little lead here of 12 points. We're trying to extend that one. This punt's kicked about the 35-yard line. Hemphill's going to field it. He's got it clean. He breaks off. He's got the speed to do something big. He cuts back up the field. He's got some blocks, runs into his own man, and if he doesn't, he's probably still running and in the end zone in a couple of seconds. Unreal run by Hemphill, and he almost turned something into magic there. Going right back here with Riley. Riley trying to evade some defenders. He's going to push his way through, and he fights for 11. A little over 5 minutes left here in the third. We're going to put Gold back over. Let Barr try to find some room. Doesn't quite get what he needs, but hey, 4 yards is 4 yards. Barr lining up a QB this time. He breaks the tackle. Barr's trying to turn up a little bit. Barr's got some room. Barr's still moving, and Barr is down at the 10. What a way to do something in the backfield where he got contact. It's still got 17. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Best running back in the country, and you're crazy if you don't agree. Safety comes up a little bit. Barr looking for something. Does get about a yard, but nothing more. 2nd and 9. Stewart in a QB. He's going to hand it off to Robert Roth, who finds a seam, but again, Michigan's right there to stop him after 2. Barr back in the game. We're trying to get him involved here. We got a halfback screen. Michigan's been really good in the red zone on defense, but can they stop Jason Barr? They stop him a yard short. Are you kidding me? A yard short? Unbelievable. Absolute shook on that play. We're lining up for the field goal. Sight, we got Cedric Thornton. He's looking for his guy, and it's just too many people there. Thornton's not going to get the fake field goal, and, well, Michigan has the ball on the 1. Good luck with that. Them having the ball so deep, we're going to bring a little bit of heat here. They go with a run for Clint Jackson. The last time he touched it, he fumbled. A small run, but a run that does give him a little bit of a cushion and some room to operate with. The running back stays in. Douglas trying to fight for something, but Bass is right there to bring him down, drop him for a loss of 1. Michigan has not converted a single third down today. That is unbelievable to me that they have yet to be able to convert a single one. But this one they're going to convert as Hemphill does get beat for 14. 2:03 left here in the third quarter. Jackson again is fighting for his team. Even though I feel pretty comfortable with the little bit of a lead that we have, you have to wonder how different this game would be if Trey Martin doesn't go out with that, I believe, shoulder injury that he ultimately got. Douglas all the time in the world to throw. He ends up having plenty of room to run. We're trying to get guys over to him, but he gets so many yards before we ever even get to touch him, and he picks up what looks to be 15 to 20. That's one of the rare times that he's had all day to throw. The majority of the time, we've really made him sort of panic by blitzing him because, look, when you've got a backup quarterback who's not used to game action, you absolutely have to blitz him to make him feel as uncomfortable as possible. And speaking of uncomfortable, he's still panicking back there. It's been night and day. Even though Holly got injured earlier with Douglas, he's going to have the same rapport, and they just haven't been able to leverage him in the same way. But they go underneath back to Holly, but it's a gain of a small amount of yards and nothing major. And it looks like Holly actually got injured on that play. At the very end, he was holding his wrist, so I think he's going to be out for the second time today, which is, again, not great news for Michigan to lose two of their best players just like that, but what a hit. Two guys hit him at the same time. He throws it, and it's nearly intercepted. So Michigan does punt it deep. It ends up being a touchback, and again, nursing on to a 12-point lead. Right back on offense, trying to get something else on our side. Riley, nice little option. He's looking for a guy. He's going to test it deep. He's got Riley, and it's picked off by McKinley. We had the one-on-one, a 50-50 ball, but it just wasn't meant to be. One play, we turned it over. You just cannot have that in a championship game like this. If you want to put a team away, a team that is desperately trying to find some way to get back, you cannot give them another opportunity. Fourth quarter starting, 8 minutes left. We're really, really close to conserving a solid lead and making sure we get in the college football playoffs. And oh my God, Clint Jackson got decapitated by Bass. 1 for 7 on third downs. The one play they did get was on a previous drive. We've got to make sure they're 1 for 8 after this one. Sending Josh Cole. He's got a lane, and oh my God, Fowler forces a fumble. Mullins recovers it. I think that could be potentially overturned, but hey, we got the ball, and I love to see what we're doing with it. Look at the Fowler coming off the edge screaming. Oh, that's a fumble. He fumbled midair. Matthew Fowler making plays out there. He almost transferred. I think that's been one of my favorite success stories, is the fact that Matthew Fowler was going to transfer to a school. I believe it's either Illinois or UVA. I remember it was a blue and orange team, whichever one of our coaches went to. But we kept him here. Look how good he's been this year. He's up for awards. He's making plays. He's just been such a big influence on this team. You love to see it. Speaking of a big influence in this game, though, Michigan's defensive line has been great. I can't say the same about some of the other parts of their team, but their defensive line has been great. And look, I mean, you got guys catching Jason Barr to the backfield like that. I have nothing but great things to say about him. What can Michigan do here in crunch time? Their quarterback's going to take off. Hey, props to Douglas. This dude is not giving up. They're going under center here. Again, it's still a 12-point game. A touchdown is going to make this really, really interesting. Up the middle again. Moses is going to tackle him for a loss of 1. 2nd and 11. Cole's going to try to bring some heat off the edge. Got another guy coming through, and it's Dwayne Cole who gets a sack, dropping him for a major loss of 7, making it 3rd and a whole lot of yards. The defense has been screaming today. And yes, we've given up some plays, we've given up some yards, but the way that we've been able to lock this defense up says so much, or this offense up says so much about how good we've been today. Going for a screen. We actually don't have a lot of guys there, but Ray Walton stands up. Clint Jackson says, I'm a captain for a reason. Michigan has tried their best to get this offense going, but again, with the backup QB, it has been difficult to say the least. Barr can't quite evade that pressure in the back and doesn't go anywhere, but lost to 3. Coach Mervin McMervin has brought in Cedric Thornton. What you're seeing from Riley has been pretty bad, and he's just trying to see if he can get something else going on, but these dudes are dropping passes left and right. The goal here for us, though, is just to limit turnovers. We've had so many issues with turnovers the past 2 weeks. It has really hurt our chances to win the games the way we should be winning them. So we got to hope that our guys can be a little bit better than what they've been. Thornton's going to find a wide open Terrence Williams, who's going to get plenty of yards now and fights for a few more to stay in bounds for 26. His first completion of the game. He was obviously in for the fake field goal pass that didn't really work out in our way. But he gets a nice completion down the field to keep this offense moving. Thornton's going to pick up a whole lot of yards here. He cuts it back, and what a run to pick up 19. This young fella is taking advantage of the opportunity. I'm not saying that Riley is on a short leash, but with the turnovers that have been happening, Coach Mervin McMervin is really thinking of a 2 QB system, because he's got to make sure that this team plays the best football they can play. And look at Jason Barr up the middle. The run threat that we saw from Thornton leads to Jason Barr going 31 yards to the house and a big touchdown, 30 on the year. 3:41 left. That incredible run by Jason Barr. The offense being set up there by Cedric Thornton after the receiver started to catch the ball a little bit better. That just sealed this game in Cascade Valley's favor. This would be a massive meltdown, and Matthew Fowler, who we talked about earlier, was transferred to then turned into a guy that stayed home, makes a big play to fully seal this game. And look, at this point, we're going to try to get our guys to just march in the field and get another touchdown, just to add injury insult, because it's Michigan, and we don't want to see them do anything major. Barr, what an unreal run he's had. Another one. Barr is going to have an even crazier one. Jason Barr's in the end zone. Are you kidding me? 40 yards later, this game's over. Late in this game, under 2:30 left, Michigan is finally getting their offense going to the point where they are trying to score a touchdown. We've held them out of the end zone every single time. Can we do it again? Jackson goes to the edge. We need one tackle. Ray Walton can't quite get him, and they do get a consolation touchdown, but really, it's too little too late. Line up for the onside kick. Again, they're down tremendous, but an onside kick would help them out. They have all their timeouts. All they got to do is recover it, but with Sean Stewart back there in the hands team, it's not really going to be likely. Barr was such a disappointment in a lot of different ways. Yes, he was getting in the end zone, but he just couldn't get the yards he really thought. He couldn't break away on some of those runs, but those back-to-back runs he had previously were incredible. This dude has been the consummate professional for our team here in college, and you just love to see what he's done. 150 plus in the in the conference championship. Putting this team on his back when he knows they need him to do it, it's just remarkable. Riley has not had a good game, and so he's known that he had to step up big with that. And even when Thornton came in, he knew that the pressure was on him even more, because Thornton, as good as he is not going to be nearly the passer that Riley has been waiting. Barr fumbled, no shot. I don't think that was actually a fumble. We'll see if we can get another look at it here. He fumbled. That's not good. I mean, I guess you can argue that Michigan's not quite out of it yet. They're feeling a little bit of pressure here. Can they come through and get a quick touchdown, which is what they need. They need a quick touchdown. They go for something to keep their guys in the middle of the field, and that's not going to help them at all. We're playing the pass the whole way. Douglas again, back to throw. Sends his tight end deep. He's looking around. He throws one to the side, but again, that's 1 yard that won't help him at all. Big 3rd and 5. What can the team up north do? They throw one that's over by Ray Walden. Ray Walden, are you kidding me? The one-handed pick. The legend. This game was nerve-wracking. This game was painful. This game was so good at the very end of it. You got to imagine, Trey Martin doesn't go down, this might have been a different ball game, but injuries are part of football, just like plays like what Jason Barr made today are part of them too. Recapping the stats today, Cedric Riley had a not-so-great game, got sacked twice, had 3 interceptions, and didn't throw over 200 yards again in today's game. There are questions that we don't have answers for, and we'll figure it out, but even Thornton, who came in, didn't have a great passing game, but didn't need to. We had a lead, and we kind of sat on that, but passing has some issues. Barr had 218, 4 touchdowns today, 1 fumble that obviously wasn't great, but he was a monster and the MVP of today's game. On the receiving side, Barr goes 3 for 6. We see Riley go for 81. Roth had 21 with 1 touchdown. He's the only guy that got in the end zone for us today. On the blocking side, a couple of guys with pancakes. The only person that gave up a sack was Marquez Smith. And then on defense, Josh Cole was everywhere. 15 tackles for this dude today. Might be a team record. We have to look that one up. Someone maybe in the comments can verify. 15 tackles, the most I have ever seen from a dude in Cascade Valley. Hats off to him. From a sack perspective, we had a couple of guys get involved today. Josh Cole, Stephen Lowe, Dwayne Cole, Chris Bass, Matthew Fowler, Jamal Patterson, and Bobby Edwards all got involved in the sack party. And then we see 3 interceptions today, 1 from John Hall, 1 from Matthew Fowler, and 1 from Ray Walden. The one-handed interception was unbelievable. The tail of the tape is a lot of guys did their job today. It was Jason Barr on offense. It was a collective unit on defense that really just put pressure on the starting quarterback and on the backup quarterback when he came in. If we are forcing turnovers, if we are getting pressure on the quarterback, if we are sacking the quarterback like we did today, ain't nobody in the country that can beat us. Be safe, be smart, tell somebody you love them. Catch you guys on the next one.